Welcome back to the deep dive. This time we are diving into hospitality English.
Mm,
Specifically, we've got a website here that's offering these courses,
mm.
and it's really geared towards hotel front desk staff.
It's amazing stuff, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to take a look at this, and I'm sure our listeners who work in hotels are going to get a lot out of this deep dive.
Yeah, absolutely. Hospitality English, it's one of those things where you can learn some phrases and that's great,
Right.
but it's more than that. It's
Yeah.
like having the confidence to deal with any situation. It's like if you can imagine someone coming to the front desk, it's the middle of the night, their flight's been delayed, they're exhausted, and then they get to the desk, they're finally there,
Right.
ready to check in, and the reservation's gone.
Oh, that's the worst.
Right. So that's a situation where, having strong hospitality English skills is really going to make a difference.
So you're not just fumbling through, I'm so sorry, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
You're able
yeah.
to like really calm them down.
Exactly.
I'd be
Right.
like, I've got you. This is what we're going to do.
Right. And that's really where the value of hospitality English comes in. You can take a situation that could spiral out of control,
Right.
turn it into a positive experience for the guest.
And for yourself too, because, when you feel confident in what you're saying,
Right.
it makes you feel better.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a win-win situation. The guest feels taken care of. You feel good about your ability to handle the situation. And chances are that guest is going to remember that positive experience.
Yeah, that's the thing about hotels and the service industry
Absolutely.
in general. Like, those little things make all the difference.
Yeah.
And communication is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Like when you're checking into a hotel, it's the first impression, you're talking to that front desk person, they set the tone for your whole stay.
Exactly. And on the flip side, if there are communication breakdowns, the website actually talks about this too. If the guest's struggling to explain what they need, or the staff member can't quite understand what the guest is saying,
Yeah.
that affects the whole experience.
And it makes you as a guest feel like, oh, am I not being heard?
Exactly. You don't feel valued.
Yeah.
You don't feel understood.
Yeah. And this website really emphasizes, it even says it outright, like language proficiency.
Yeah.
It's a major challenge for hotel front desk staff.
Right. And it can be a limiting factor in terms of career growth.
That's interesting.
Think about it. You're more likely to get promoted,
Yeah.
given more responsibility if you can confidently handle those interactions in English.
So, learning these skills, it's not just about speaking English, it's about opening doors for yourself.
Exactly. It's about creating opportunities. And I think there's another piece here that the website mentions, active listening. Yeah, so it's not just about speaking fluent English. It's also about truly understanding what the guest is saying, even if they're not expressing themselves perfectly.
So asking the right questions, like making sure you
Yeah.
clarify what they need.
Absolutely. And using body language to show you're paying attention,
Yeah.
maybe even summarizing what you've heard
Right.
to make sure you're both on the same page. It's about going beyond just the words and making that genuine connection.
So we're talking about clear communication, active listening, and that genuine desire to help people.
Absolutely. And that's really the foundation of exceptional guest service. And speaking of expertise, the guy behind this website, the guy behind these courses is Andy T. Laird.
Okay.
And he's got an impressive background.
So he's not just like some guy who decided to throw together a website, right?
No, not at all. He's got over 30 years of experience
Wow.
in both training and hospitality.
Okay.
So he's a former teacher trainer,
Okay.
and he's worked in all sorts of five-star hotels.
So he knows the language and he knows the industry.
Exactly. He knows both sides of the coin.
That's pretty impressive.
He understands the mechanics of language acquisition,
Mhm.
but he also knows the demands of a high-end hospitality environment.
So you know what you're getting into.
Exactly. And he's designed these courses to give you the specific skills you need to thrive in that setting. It's like having a personal coach who's been in the trenches
Yeah.
and knows exactly what you're going to face.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
All right, so Andy's got the credentials.
he does.
It sounds like, these courses would be amazing for anyone at the front desk. But what about, like, other hotel staff?
Right.
Someone in housekeeping
Yeah.
or food and beverage.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And actually the website even touches on this. While the focus is on the front desk, the reality is these skills are useful across all departments.
Right.
Like, think about it. If you're explaining room service options,
Mhm.
or you're dealing with a maintenance request,
Yeah.
or even just coordinating with colleagues from different departments,
Right.
like clear communication is essential.
So even if you're not like the first person they see, like that guest-facing role,
Right.
you can still benefit from these courses.
Absolutely. And just to give you an idea, like these courses are designed to be really practical. So they're broken down into 8 modules,
Okay.
and each one focuses on real-world applications.
So it's not just like grammar rules and stuff.
Right. Not just dry grammar, it's more about learning by doing.
Okay, cool.
And they're also self-paced.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so you can fit them into your schedule.
Yeah, that's super important. I was also going to say the website has some testimonials,
Oh, yeah.
and I was really struck by like how different all the students are.
It just goes to show you how important, these skills are
Yeah.
in any service-oriented industry.
Like one guy, Luigi Apostoli, he's a restaurant manager, and he wasn't sure if it was like going to be relevant to him.
Right, right.
But he said it was super flexible and user-friendly.
That's great.
Yeah.
And he was able to adapt it to his own professional context.
Yeah. And there's this other woman, Jantira Namwang. She runs an art retreat.
Oh, wow.
And she said the courses helped her with a lot of practical scenarios.
It just shows you that these skills go beyond, just a specific job title.
Exactly. And Muanjiro Jonapinkel, she's self-employed.
Okay.
And she found the content relevant too. It's
Right, yeah.
interesting how it can apply to like different fields.
Right. It's about those core communication skills
Yeah.
that you can then transfer to different contexts.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of focusing on those fundamentals. It gives you that foundation to build upon.
So it's not just about learning English like in a classroom.
Right.
It's about learning how to use it.
Exactly. It's about giving you those tools to navigate real-world interactions.
Whether you're dealing with a guest request or trying to resolve a conflict.
Yeah. Or just making someone feel welcome and understood.
Yeah. And speaking of tools, there's a bonus with the course. A hotel vocabulary toolkit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's like a cheat sheet.
Yeah. It's got all these terms and phrases.
Yeah, that's really useful.
So, we've talked about all the challenges of language proficiency in the industry. We've seen what Andy's courses can do, and we've really dug into the power of communication. But what does all this mean for you? Why should you even care about all this?
Right. That's the question.
That's a good question. Why should I care? Why hospitality English?
Well, it goes beyond just the language, right?
Yeah.
It's about the connection. You make that human connection with the guests.
Right, right.
Make them feel welcome, make them feel seen.
So you're thinking about things like recommending a good restaurant
Exactly.
or, remembering something about them from a previous stay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, those little personalized touches.
Right.
They make all the difference.
Or even like using humor to kind of like lighten the situation.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And when you can do that in English,
Yeah.
confidently and clearly, you can really build rapport with the guests.
You go from just doing your job
Right.
to really connecting with people.
Exactly. And those connections,
Yeah.
they lead to happier guests,
Mm.
better reviews, just a more positive atmosphere.
And it comes back to you too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like if you're working in a hotel where guests are happy,
Right.
you're going to be happier too.
Exactly, yeah. It creates that ripple effect.
Yeah.
Everyone benefits.
So you're not just like learning English,
Right?
you're kind of becoming like a representative
Yes.
for your hotel, for your city.
An ambassador.
Yeah, that's really cool. So we've talked about a lot. We talked about the challenges. We've seen what these courses can do. We've talked about the power of communication. So as we wrap up here, like what's something our listeners can like really take away from this? What can they think about?
That's a great question. Imagine yourself
Yeah.
confidently interacting with guests from all over the world. You can handle any situation that comes your way.
Mhm.
And you're building these genuine connections
Right.
that go beyond language. Like, how would that change your work experience? How would it impact your, potential for growth?
It's pretty powerful when you think about it.
It is.
Just the confidence you gain, the opportunities that open up, it can really change things.
It can.
So if you're feeling inspired,
Yeah.
check out Andy T. Laird's website.
Yeah, explore those courses.
Take that next step.
It could be, that key to unlocking your potential,
Yeah.
to really having a fulfilling career.
Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into hospitality English. We hope you found it interesting and helpful.
We hope so too.
And remember, investing in your communication skills, it's really an investment in yourself.
And in a people-focused industry, there's no better investment than that.
So until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep those conversations going.
See you next time.